Folks, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. If anyone caught that UFC 300 fight card last night, it did not disappoint. That was one of the best fight cards that I can remember. I mean, every single fight was action-packed. Amazing. Anyone who's been showing up to the pack breaks, guys, pull the Magikarp this last Thursday. Incredible. These last 3 weeks, we got the Magikarp, we got the Tyranitar Alt-Art the week before, we got the Lugia Alt-Art the week before that, as well as a slew of other hits. It's been wild. But today I want to talk about the issue that Pokemon has. And it's a very real problem. And I don't know how they're going to solve it going forward. That every single era, right, there's kind of fewer and fewer Pokemon people care about. And it's harder and harder for them to hold the value as the top cards or to carry sets. So we're going to go into that in more depth. I'm going to explain to you exactly what I'm talking about. But I did have a subscriber reach out to me. And they're starting a streaming channel and they're doing pack breaks and things, but they put together this awesome like tournament style thing, and they sent me this whole like promotional video they're using and wanted to know if I'd share it. And I said, heck yeah, I'll share this. I checked it out. It's pretty awesome. So Wish Nikki, I'm gonna go ahead and share your promo right now, man. Appreciate you being subscribed. Let's see what you got going on.
Wish Nikki here. I would like to invite everyone to come join this journey with me of live Pokemon opening on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. A Battle Royale is a 16-person, winner-take-all box break composed of 4 rounds of head-to-head matches in which the person who pulls the most expensive card will advance to the next round. If you are fortunate enough to win a Battle Royale, you will not only get all the hits in that booster box shipped to you free of charge, you will also become immortalized forever in the Wish Nikki Hall of Fame.
Pretty awesome, right? So make sure to check out Wish Nikki, guys. She's got some cool things going on over there. Obviously, I do pack breaks too on Thursday nights. Probably not as well edited and things as his, but we still have fun. But getting into today's video, guys, I want to talk about this issue and this problem that Pokemon is going to continue to experience, I feel, as time goes on, is it's getting increasingly harder to get people to care about the newer Pokemon. And we're seeing every single generation, the amount of Pokemon people care about shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink, and they just don't have enough star power to carry the value of sets, be the top hits, be chased after, be collected. And look, I'm talking to thousands of people on these videos, there's millions out there, and there's always going to be people that say, I like all the Pokemon, or, oh, I like that one, Alex, no, you're wrong. Oh, no, I know a lot of people in my friend group that like these Pokemon. Look, we gotta talk in generalities. I'm sure every Pokemon has some love for it. However, when you talk about the majority, talk about the masses, because that's what moves markets, there's less of the masses that care about a lot of these new Pokemon. And so when you go back to Gen 1, it's obviously got the most, right? It's got the most star power. You can throw a lot of those Pokemon as the star Pokemon or the top hits and sets, they're gonna do well, right? You got the Charizard, the Blastoise, and Venusaur. You got the Pikachu. You got the Gengar. You got the Mewtwo. You got Eevee and all the evolutions, because that's where evolution started, right? You've got the legendary birds. You got so many great Pokemon that came from Gen 1. And then you move to Gen 2. And Gen 2 still has a lot, right? I mean, then you move to Gen 3. And Gen 3's got some, but it gets smaller. And you get to Gen 4, and they still have some people chased after, but it gets smaller, and so on, and so on. And it just seems like each generation, the amount of Pokemon that people really care about enough to actually want to chase and collect and pay top dollar for shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. And when you look at XY, right, the reason XY sets I feel are doing better now and why they're kind of superseding the fact that they weren't that loved, they didn't have really anything too unique, and they also didn't have hard hit rates, right? One case could get you basically the whole set. It was very easy to pull those cards, but they're doing well because most all of their sets were based around popular Gen 1, Gen 2, some Gen 3 Pokemon, right? I mean, you have Evolutions, reprint a base set, right? You got Fates Collide, Alakazam, Breakthrough, Mewtwo, Breakpoint, Gyarados, right? You got Phantom Forces, Gengar. You've got Flashfire, Charizard. You know, you've got things like Ancient Origins and Roaring Skies and Primal Clash, things like that. You know, there's some Gen 2s, Gen 3s in there, but they didn't try to base all of those sets around brand new Pokemon. They didn't make that mistake. And then you go to Sun and Moon, and they kind of did the same thing, right? They kept the focus on a lot of the Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 beloved Pokemon. And when you just go type in Sun and Moon or XY and look at the top hits in the eras, a lot of them are Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 Pokemon, right? It's just the way it goes. And then you get to Sword and Shield, same type of thing. Look at the alt arts. I mean, all the top alt arts are basically Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. I know there's Garatina, and there might be a couple others, but it's pretty sizably Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 Pokemon. And so the issue with Scarlet Violet's having is they're desperately trying to push and get people to care about these new future type Pokemon, these new Pokemon they're creating. And the issue is, it's not that people don't care, they just don't have the star power to carry a set, to be that top value card. And that's why when you look at the top hits in the era so far, what are they? Paldean Fates Charizard, 151 Charizard, right? The Bubble Mew, the Shiny Pikachu, the Venusaur, Blastoise, Zapdos SIRs, the Magikarp, right? All the top hits are all Gen 1, Gen 2. And so you're seeing this trend continue. And when people are saying, well, I'm waiting for the later sets when they start making better cards, it's not about better cards. These are awesome. When you look at Temporal Forces, some of those SIRs, they're beautiful. Same thing goes for all the Scarlet Violet sets. These sets are arguably the best start to an era that we've had. The issue is they're not basing enough of the sets around Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 Pokemon. And the sets that they are, they're doing well, right? Paldean Fates, Charizard, Mew, holding great value. 151, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Zapdos, holding great value, right? Now the Obsidian Flames, that's not doing it as good. I get it. But, the Magikarp, rising up. It held value, now it's gaining value. Obviously, you're going to have some waifus in there that do well, always. But, Paradox Rift, really dropping off, right? Scarlet Violet Base, I mean, not doing the greatest. Where you have the waifu up there, you got Gardevoir. Again, Gardevoir loved Pokemon already, was already loved. But all the new stuff, it's not holding. And I think if Scarlet Violet, all they have to do, they don't even have to change. I mean, the hit rates in Temporal Forces got a little harder, obviously, but I don't even know if they need to change the hit rates or anything. I think if they just made a set based around a bunch of popular Pokemon, I think it would probably just do well. I mean, that's all Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, and XY did, right? It didn't have to do with, the hit rates being harder. I mean, obviously, Sword and Shield's a lot harder than XY or Sun and Moon, and Sun and Moon's a lot harder than XY, and things like that. But I think they just went with what worked, right? It's kind of like the criticism people always give Pokemon is, well, they just throw Charizard in every set when they want it to do well. And that has been a thing, but recently, Obsidian Flames, not doing the greatest. They threw Charizard in it. I know 151 and Paldean Fates are, but, I mean, it is kind of the cheat code. You go throw Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 beloved Pokemon in sets, you're probably going to do well because you have the biggest group of collectors all wanting to collect those Pokemon. It's very hard to get all the people in the hobby already. It's great for the newcomers or kids or whatever to see their new Pokemon they're growing up with in the cards, but everyone else is like Roaring Moon. Okay, I don't get it. Iron Leaves. Iron Crown. All right, or people are saying, well, what'd they do to my legendary beast? What did they do to Suicune? I don't want to collect that. I want to collect Suicune. And so I think that's the real issue that Pokemon is going through right now. And now that the whole Japanese craze has come down and the waifu boom has subsided in America, the waifus aren't able to carry sets anymore, right? I mean, they threw the Bianca in there and it might do well in Japanese, but here it's middle of the road SIR. Miriam's still up top, but that's just because Scarlet Violet, it's just a weak set. It's all new stuff. It's harder to, find people who love that stuff. But I mean, even the Iono. Iono just got passed by Magikarp. The Iono, and the Penny and things they threw in to Paldean Fates, they're down. And so waifus can't carry sets anymore. So if the new Pokemon can't carry sets, the waifus can't carry sets, Pokemon's obviously going to see this and say, well, I guess we'll go back Old Faithful. Let's just start throwing Gen 1, 2, 3 Pokemon in the sets and see what happens, and they'll probably do well. And that's the issue going forward, is it seems like they're going to have to just continue repeating that process because it works. And even though they're trying, market just doesn't want it. You can't tell people what to want. You can try to market it and do the best you can, but if people don't want it, they just don't want it. So I think that's the biggest issue going on with Scarlet Violet era right now, is just finding its footing and putting enough popular species that people want in these sets. And I think if they start doing that, it's going to start popping off. So That's all I got for the time being, guys. Hope the video helped. And as always, I'll see you back here in a new one soon. I'm out.